Good morning. I'm Lacey Shippey on the Rural Radio Network, and it's time to take a look at our midday livestock trade with livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted. And Kyle, we're seeing a little bit of market correction here today. Tell me what you make of trade.
That's what I make of it, is a little bit of a market correction here as far as both feeders and the live cattle go. Feeders down about two and a quarter across the board. They're off their lows here by about $1.30, and the live cattle, they're down about $1.50. They're off their lows by about 60 to 70 cents here across the board. And like you said, it looks like to me a correction here. We are not seeing much activity here as far as the spreads go. We've got the Fed gaining on the April. The April's about steady with the June. The June versus August, that spread is steady as well. So not a lot of commercial interest out there today, and we haven't seen or heard of any cash bids and offers out there. That's pretty quiet as well. And I think if there's going to be anything surface, it's going to be late Thursday or Friday before we get anything going as far as cash trade goes. Now, on the feeder cattle side of things here, still kind of in that camp that we put a short-term high in here the first couple weeks of January, and then we kind of drift here the second half of January on into February and March. That's kind of the seasonal tendency of this feeder cattle market. We did see the feeder cattle index looks like it's going to be up about 77 cents here again today. We did see some big sales up here in the Sandhills yesterday. As far as the live cattle side of things goes, like I said, we're watching a choice select spread here in the box beef here. That got down to 17 cents last night. That does happen from time to time. And typically when that does happen, it's in the first quarter of the year. And then it doesn't stay that narrow very long. I think the longest it stayed that way was about a week to 10 days, and then it started to widen back out. But box beef did come out here. We're up $1.22 on the choice here this morning and down 31 cents on the select, and it widened that spread back out to $1.70. So a lot of moving parts here as we get deeper into this first full week of trade here for 2026, Lacey.
Thank you, Kyle. That is livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted with a look at your midday trade here on the Rural Radio Network.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation supports students like Caden Van Winkle from Tri-County through grants. Caden is building his online channel he calls KVW Outdoors.
I go hunting, fishing, all sorts of stuff outdoors, and I take my viewers along with that and explore the outdoors, try to be an advocate for the outdoor industry.
Supporting students as they pursue their dream and creating career connections. Visit neffafoundation.org. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
We know you're good at producing grain, but we want you to be good at marketing it too. That's where we can help. Grain IQ is a brand new podcast from the Nebraska Rural Radio Association. We'll break down the important things to know when it comes to basis, the Chicago Board of Trade, seasonality, and a whole lot more. Hosted by Chad Moyer, Grain IQ is a production of the Nebraska Rural Radio Association in cooperation and with support by the Nebraska Soybean Board. Listen to Grain IQ on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or online at ruralradionetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Rural Radio Network. For a check of your markets, grains continue to trade higher here at midday with wheat and soybeans leading the positive price action. We're likely seeing some short covering today as traders position ahead of the January WASDE report that will be released on Monday. Corn is up a few cents. The weekly ethanol report showed production 22,000 barrels per day lower, and stocks were 700,000 barrels higher on the week. Soybeans are holding strong after some trade rumors of Chinese business yesterday, and there could be pockets of dryness in key growing areas of South America, though mid-month forecasts could bring back some wetter conditions. And wheat is pushing toward its recent highs with weather premium as well as the area of winter wheat affected by drought continues to grow. March corn is up 1 3/4 at 4.45 3/4. May up 1 3/4 at 4.53. July up 1 3/4 at 4.58 3/4. March soybeans are up 11 1/4 at 10.67 1/2. May up 10 3/4 at 10.78 3/4. July up 9 3/4 at 10.90. March Chicago wheat is up 8 1/4 at 5.18 3/4. May up 7 1/4 at 5.28 1/2. Kansas City March wheat up 8 3/4 at 5.30 1/4. May up 8 3/4 at 5.42. March soybean meal is up 5.70 at 3.05 20. March bean oil is down a nickel actually at 49.35. February live cattle are down $1.87 at 234.75. April down $2.12 at 235.25. March feeders down $3.50 at 355.52. April down $3.52 at 354.60. February lean hogs are down 70 cents at 84.97. April down 97 at 90.60. That's a look at your markets. You're listening to the Rural Radio Network.